I'm calling you out. For those of you who are not afraid of commitment. You thought I was going to call out something bad, right? Well, nowadays it seems like, at least in my experience, that not being afraid of commitment, or I should say not avoiding commitment, means that we're taken as people who are just a little much, right? A little too intense, not lighthearted enough. I'm here to tell you that if you are a person who values commitment, that is a beautiful quality. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're anything like me, you've already committed to yourself in so many ways, right? Maybe you recently started hitting the gym, or you've been hitting the gym for a while, right? Maybe you recently got your nutrition in check, or are actively improving your, don't want to say diets, but the food that you eat, right? And your knowledge about the food that you eat. Maybe you recently started resting a lot. I know that resonates with me a lot. I've always been a person who, and still am, I'm just toning it down now, I'm regulating it now, but I've always been a person who constantly seeks what else to improve, what else to change, what else is wrong. And it is only since very recently, since like a month ago, sparked from a falling out, pretty much, a heartbreak, you could say. A heartbreak. That I had to rest. And I didn't realize how fried my nervous system was. But it was. But anyway, those of you who are not afraid of commitment, especially the guys out there, listen, if you're a woman, love to you, respect to you. But I'm talking right now, for a few seconds, right, to my guys out there. But if you're a woman like this, then shout out to you too, because we need more of you in the world, right? But especially guys, because we're not encouraged to think in the way I'm about to say. If you value commitment over sexual gratification, meaning if you don't actually want to be sleeping around with strangers, you don't want a roster, you don't want fuck buddies, you don't want friends with benefits, you actually want a committed relationship that you can then express your sexuality to, right? Some people may think that this is like, oh, you must be scared of sexuality. No. If you found this video, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to elaborate in that sense because it's a bit much. But I'll say that it's become very apparent that commitment is not valued that much anymore, right? What's valued is using other people for entertainment, right? Even if you don't readily admit it right at that time, it's still that. It's still, you're using someone for entertainment. Because what else could it be, right? Once you're not, doing the deed with them, you don't plan on taking anything further with them, right? And some of us, we may have gone through a period where we indulged in that. Especially as men, we're taught We're taught to, hey, you have needs, right? You have needs. So however you could get them fulfilled with whoever you can get them fulfilled with, just go ahead and do it, right? Especially if you're young. If you're a young man, then it's, man, you're young. Go live your life. You know exactly what that means to the men out there. And even to the women. It's tragic that some of these women, some of the mothers of these women are telling them, go have fun. And we know exactly what that means, right? Don't settle down. Don't get into a relationship. Go and have fun. Go and live your life, right? But since we were little boys, most of us were taught women are just here just to, or maybe I won't say that because that's not what I was about to say wasn't exactly true. But I think the dominating attitude that we have been taught is, the more hoes you have, the better, right? The more women you have over you, the better. And it's tragic too, because now the women are doing the same thing and the women are way better at it, right? I mean, they're always going to be better at it because they're the ones that grant access in that way, right? But thankfully, I've always been the type of person that actually really, let me not speak so much about myself, but I'll say this. If you're watching this video, you are most likely the type of person that doesn't really want the physical gratification of sex. At least you don't only want that. Because what you actually seek is the emotional intimacy that is gifted through sex, exchanged through sex, right? For a long time, I felt ashamed about that. Even up until very recently, I felt like that was used against me in a way. Especially as a man, you're not... Men are not really expected to want to commit to a woman before actually having sex, right? So, and listen, if you're not like this, then whatever, I'm just talking to the people right now who value commitment over sex, over physical gratification of any kind, right? Because it is through that commitment that we find the unfolding of our true character. So, unfortunately, in a world where everyone is seeking faster, bigger, better, now, something or someone that values the slow process, the slow unfolding, you're almost seeing like that's too much. Like we're not here for all that. We're not here. I just want to have a little bit of fun, right? I want to live my life. Again, back to that. And I just wonder how people haven't gotten tired of it already, Right now I'm in Miami Beach, actually. I'm in Miami Beach, and it just seems to me like everyone is living their lives in a way that is aimless. I guess that's a topic for a whole other video, but I'm the type of person that nearly everything I do is for a specific purpose. And it is only up since very recently that I've allowed myself one day a week where I can just do almost whatever the hell I want. You know? So, with that said, it's felt like a burden for a long time, you know? It's felt like a burden to feel like, damn, what I want is an actual commitment, but what I keep finding are people who, they're not looking for all that, you know? They're just looking to have some fun. And the worst thing probably I've done is make the mistake of trying to convert that person, right? Trying to convert that person into, or those people, into someone that values that too. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't let your sense of loneliness deter you from your true nature. If you're the type of person who can just be in and out of people and of different situations and not feel like you need anything else aside from that, then all right, you're that type of person. But if you're the type of person that values a commitment, right, values commitment, then this one's for you. Be more discerning with the company you keep, and don't allow them to make you feel like you're too much, because you might be just too much for them. But there has to be people out here that value commitment just as much as you do. Shit, you may even find someone who surprises you with how much they actually value commitment, right? But it starts with yourself, right? It starts with yourself. It's not just valuing commitment in relationships and that's it. No. Have you committed to your health, to your self-care, to your rest, to whatever craft you've dedicated yourself to? Right? I'm not saying you need to be David Goggins up at 5 a.m. type deal, but do you exercise regularly? Do you drink water? Do you take care of your skin, right? Do you wash your face at least twice a day? Do you care about your appearance and how you show up in the world? These are things, right? I can name a long list in varying degrees. Each of these things would be varying in degrees of importance. The main one being health, though. But if you can commit to yourself in ways that make you improve over time, make you become more self-aware and more self-empowered over time, then that means that naturally you would value commitment. So, with that said, I trust that this message finds you well, and I look forward to sharing something else with you very soon.